Ruben Amorim told Andre Onana is a top keeper as explanation offered for struggles. Andre Onana has been backed despite his Manchester United struggles, with the team's defense blamed for the goalkeeper's difficult moments during his time at the club. Andre Onana has been labeled a great goalkeeper by former Chelsea defender Frank Leboeuf. The Manchester United #1 has continued to struggle and was recently dropped by Ruben Amorim, but has received a glowing endorsement. Onana is into his second year in Manchester, having been signed for just shy of £50 million. The club chose to move on David de Gea and bring in the Cameroon international from Inter Milan, where he reached the Champions League final. The 29-year-old has struggled since making his debut for the Red Devils, with a number of his errors leading directly to goals. Those issues have continued, and, after a difficult outing recently in Lyon, he was dropped for the following game before regaining his starting place. Leboeuf believes that Onana remains a top-drawer shot-stopper, and the lack of confidence that has filtered through the entire back four will not be helping the goalkeeper, who is being exposed. He told Bet Victor, "I think Andre Onana is a great goalkeeper. He showed this during his time playing in Italy and the Netherlands. In my eyes, his current issues are because of a lack of confidence. You expect confidence from your keeper. When I was playing in a defense and Fabian Barthez was behind me, I had that trust in him to take care of things if I made a mistake. That's massive for a defender." Many players around Onana are also struggling, and it's a tough situation. It means that players must be responsible for their actions and not leave themselves exposed defensively if Onana isn't at his best. Onana has kept 9 clean sheets in the Premier League this term, the same amount as Liverpool #1 Alisson. However, the ex-Ajax goalkeeper has also been part of numerous blunders, including being beaten direct from a corner during a loss at Wolves back in December. The United #1 was also responsible for an error that saw Brighton secure a 3-1 win at Old Trafford, after which Amorim did appear to call out his goalkeeper. He said, "It's like the team, Onana's error, ups and downs, really up sometimes and then really low downs. We have to maintain our focus during all the games to try and win games. That is the only way we can turn things around." Altay Bayindir remains United's #2, but didn't cover himself in glory when he deputized for Onana during the 4-1 defeat at Newcastle recently. There have been reports of United pursuing a new goalkeeper in the summer, but they are understood to have different priorities at present. Manchester United can trigger in the transfer window, including £30 million bargain. With Ruben Amorim's Red Devils in dire need of change, Manchester United could look to some players with appetizing release clauses come the summer to stop the all-encompassing rot. Ruben Amorim and Manchester United could shift their gaze to superstars with enticing release clauses in their contracts when selecting summer reinforcements. As the Portuguese head coach's debut season draws to an end, returns have been miserable. Since supplanting Erik Ten Hag, Amorim has won just 6 top-flight fixtures, drawing 5 and losing a whopping 11. His men are on course for an all-time worst Premier League finish and currently languish in 14th. Were it not for a potential Europa League triumph, a semi-final date with Athletic Club fast approaching, the campaign would all be written off. Looking ahead to the summer transfer window, it is evident that new names are needed. The Red Devils will likely give their 40-year-old manager some new tools to work with, and Mirror Football takes a peek at stars who could see their release clauses activated before going on to call Old Trafford home. Liam Delap, Ipswich Town's revelation of a number. 9 was only purchased for an initial £15 million in the summer of 2024 to aid the Tractor Boys in their top-flight plight. Still, once their fate is sealed and a relegation to the Championship is confirmed, he could reportedly depart for just double that fee. With 12 Premier League goals to his name, Liam Delap has fired his way into the eye line of top English clubs. His all-around play has seen the ex-Manchester City Academy star become a hot commodity, and news broke earlier this month that, should his current employers be relegated, A £30 million release clause within the 5-year deal he signed 12 months ago becomes active. The Suffolk-based side are essentially down, sitting 14 points from safety with 5 matches to play, and reports from the Mail suggest United could be the ones to step in and bag themselves a bargain. Current first-choice marksman Rasmus Højlund has yet to live up to his hefty £72 million price tag, and a tally of 24 goals in 88 matches isn't good enough for a club the size of United. Englishman Delap could be the one to come in and lead Amorim's line next term, despite his past allegiance to rival Citizens, who reportedly hold a £40 million buyback agreement on the 22-year-old, though may see little point in bringing him back to the Etihad in Erling Haaland's presence. Jeremy Frimpong. A pivotal but at-the-minute dysfunctional aspect of Amorim's system deployed at Old Trafford is the use of marauding wingbacks. At previous club, Sporting CP, it was wide play that aided the Portuguese to 2 historic league titles. Alas, a combination of Diogo Dalot, Noussair Mazraoui, new man Patrick Dorgu, and frequently sidelined Luke Shaw just hasn't cut it so far. So much so that youngsters like Harry Maguire, who performed admirably in their latest 1-0 defeat to Wolves, are being chanced in the position. Few wingbacks in Europe hold the blistering speed and technical brilliance of Bayer Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong, another ex-City Academy ace, who could be on the move this summer thanks to a favorable release clause. The Dutchman was a pivotal piece of his German employer's invincible Bundesliga campaign last year, but the homegrown talent's £33.5 million clause has attracted a swirling flock of suitors, namely United's bitter rivals Liverpool. Should the Red Devils want to make a splash, then shelling out for Frimpong could do just that, and talks held in 2023 and reported by the men suggest he is well on their radar. Dean Huijsen. Though Spanish international, Dean Huijsen showed very little before his £12.6 million move to Bournemouth in 2024, he is now considered by many to be one of the Premier League's, if not European football's, brightest defensive sparks. Born in the Netherlands, Huijsen played his youth football in Spain before switching to Juventus in 2021. 2 years later, he made the club's reserves and, in 2024, earned himself a loan switch to Roma. In the Italian capital, he played 14 times, scoring 2 goals, and only earned a single senior showing for the Old Lady before his summer switch. This campaign, however, Huijsen has been coolness personified for the Cherries, calmly leading a defense that has conceded just 40 goals while acting as a backbone for an unlikely tilt at European football. Many top outfits have unsurprisingly turned their attentions to Huijsen and United, who are in dire need of a center-half, with 20-year-old academy graduate Tyler Fredrickson needed to staff the position in their last outing, could be the ones to activate the defender's £50 million clause amid reports by Spanish outlet Relevo of their interest. Victor Osimhen. The Red Devils' need for a potent attacking threat is known, with Højlund's subpar performances and the likes of Joshua Zirkzee not among the goals as much as fans would like. One name that has been linked with not just a move to Old Trafford, but also Stamford Bridge and the Emirates, is Nigerian superstar Victor Osimhen. The 26-year-old emerged as one of Europe's premier sharpshooters when helping parent club Napoli to their Scudetto success of 2023. And after a falling out last summer, he seemed destined for the English top flight with Chelsea and Arsenal among the reported interested parties. Yet, no deal was completed, and a loan move to Galatasaray was settled upon. But when the Super Eagles talisman returns to Serie A in the months to come, a permanent transfer away is thought to be preferred. United are supposedly interested and may be able to seal a deal for Osimhen via his release clause for just £64 million, as per Sky Germany. Matheus Cunha, the latest club to dish out a loss to United Wolves, will likely lose their talismanic Brazilian forward, Matheus Cunha, come the summer transfer window. Cunha arrived at Molineux in 2023 on an initial loan deal, which became permanent for a fee thought to be around £44 million. While the 25-year-old's initial showings lacked a goal-scoring edge and confidence, the attacker has grown into one of the Premier League's most feared. This campaign, Cunha ran United dogged with Wolves, orchestrating their 2-0 victory at home against Amorim's side in late 2024, before winning the free kick that Pablo Sarabia converted to seal an unprecedented double over the weekend. According to The Telegraph, these auditions have seen his £62.5 million release clause be a price United are willing to pay in installments, as they desperately search for a skillful attacking outlet. Finally, Marcus Rashford accepts Manchester United exit is final as he eyes Champions League future. Marcus Rashford has reportedly come to terms with the fact that he will never play for Manchester United again. The England international, currently on loan at Aston Villa, has experienced a resurgence in form, but it appears his future no longer lies at Old Trafford. After struggling for consistency and falling out of favor at United, Rashford made a temporary move to Villa during the January transfer window. Since then, he has netted 4 goals and provided 6 assists in 17 appearances, proving to be an effective weapon for Unai Emery's side. He even found the net in Villa's recent 2-1 defeat to Manchester City, converting a penalty to temporarily draw the sides level. Despite being under contract with Manchester United until 2028, Rashford understands that his time at the club has come to a close. The arrival of head coach Ruben Amorim has effectively sealed his fate, with the Portuguese boss reportedly uninterested in reintegrating Rashford into the first-team picture. Sources close to the player have confirmed that Rashford has accepted this reality and is now actively exploring his options for a permanent move this summer. Villa exit on the horizon. Although Aston Villa hold a £40 million option to sign Rashford permanently, it appears that the forward has no desire to extend his stay in the Midlands. While Emery has publicly praised Rashford's contributions, stating, "I'm so happy with him, he's performing very well. He's been really important for us." Rashford's long-term vision does not seem to align with remaining at Villa Park. Rashford's ambitions center around playing in the Champions League next season, something Villa are currently in danger of missing out on. Their recent loss to Manchester City has seen them drop to 7th in the Premier League table, 2 points behind 5th-placed Newcastle in a tight race for European qualification. Looking abroad for a fresh start. A move to Spain is reportedly an attractive proposition for Rashford, who is looking to reinvent himself away from the scrutiny that comes with playing in England. Notably, the players' camp has ruled out a move to any London club, narrowing the field of potential Premier League suitors. This preference, combined with his desire to play Champions League football, makes La Liga clubs an appealing option. Importantly, Rashford's representatives are not expected to enter formal talks with Manchester United regarding his future until mid-June. The focus for now remains on helping Villa finish the season strongly and potentially lifting the FA Cup with an upcoming semi-final match on the horizon. No swap deals on the table. United, for their part, are believed to be considering attacking reinforcements for the summer. However, reports suggest that Rashford will not be involved in any player swap deals, with names like Ollie Watkins and Ebereki Eze floated as United targets. His camp is clear. Rashford's future move will be based on finding the right fit, not as a bargaining chip in other negotiations. No surprise for former United players. Rashford's decision to sever ties with United is not unexpected to some former players. Teddy Sheringham, who once wore the red shirt with distinction, believes Rashford's recent performances and body language make his feelings toward the club apparent. "I don't think there's a way back for Marcus Rashford at Man United," Sheringham told CasinoApps.com. "I don't think he wants to. I look at the body language he's giving off at Villa, and it's like he couldn't be any happier to be further away from Manchester United if he tried." For Rashford, The path ahead may be far from the one many envisioned when he burst onto the scene at Old Trafford as a teenage prodigy. However, at 27, and with plenty of football still ahead of him, he's clearly focused on writing a new chapter in his career, one that could yet see him shine on Europe's biggest stage. Roy Keane speaks about one big reason: Kevin De Bruyne could join Manchester United after City exit. In a surprise twist that sent shockwaves through the footballing world, Kevin De Bruyne is set to leave Manchester City at the end of the season. After more than a decade of dazzling performances, countless assists, and major silverware, the Belgian midfielder is now looking for a new club, and Roy Keane has a cheeky suggestion. Why not just head across town to Manchester United? Speaking on Sky Sports, former Manchester United captain Roy Keane joked that De Bruyne wouldn't even have to pack his bags. United! He wouldn't have to move house, Keane quipped, after fellow pundit Shay Given expressed concern that the 32-year-old might end up with a Premier League rival. The remark was lighthearted, but it came off the back of a serious situation that has left many fans scratching their heads. Despite his legendary status at the Etihad and being named City's Player of the Season 4 times, De Bruyne revealed that the club made no effort to extend his contract this year. "I have not had any offer the whole year. They just took a decision," De Bruyne said. "Obviously, I was a bit surprised, but I just have to accept it." While many assumed De Bruyne would finish his career at City, the club appears to be shifting its focus to younger talent. That decision, however surprising, opens the door for several possibilities, each more intriguing than the last. Still a force to be reckoned with. Though injuries have plagued him this season, De Bruyne remains one of the most gifted midfielders in world football. With over 100 goals for City and numerous assists that have defined an era of dominance under Pep Guardiola, he has made an indelible mark on the Premier League. Former City goalkeeper Shay Given believes De Bruyne still has much to offer. Kevin will admit he is not at his peak, but you can see he still has a lot to offer. He can turn up at another Premier League club, and that is a concern for City. At 32, De Bruyne isn't the energetic box-to-box presence he once was, but his football intelligence, passing range, and leadership remain elite. The question now is, where does he go next? Manchester United a realistic option? While Roy Keane's comment was made in jest, the notion of De Bruyne crossing the Manchester divide isn't entirely far-fetched. Manchester United are in the midst of their own rebuild, desperately seeking creativity and leadership in midfield. With Bruno Fernandes often shouldering the creative burden alone, a player of De Bruyne's caliber could transform United's attacking threat. There's also the logistical advantage Keane pointed out. De Bruyne and his family are settled in Manchester. A move to United would mean minimal disruption to his personal life, a factor he himself admitted will weigh heavily on his decision. "I'm open for anything," De Bruyne said. "I have to look at the whole picture. I'm looking at sporting, family, everything together, what makes the most sense for me and my family." Beyond England, Saudi Arabia, MLS. Also interested. Though staying in the Premier League is certainly an option, interest in De Bruyne extends far beyond England. Clubs in Saudi Arabia and Major League Soccer, MLS, are reportedly ready to offer lucrative deals. However, the Belgian star has hinted that he's not quite ready to wind down his career in a less competitive league. "I feel like I still have a lot to give," he explained. "Obviously, I know I'm not 25 anymore, but I still feel like I can do my job. I like to play football. I like to compete." With those words, it's clear De Bruyne is still driven by ambition, not just money. That might eliminate some of the more financially motivated destinations, at least for now, and keep him in Europe a little while longer. The coming months will be pivotal as De Bruyne weighs his options. Whether it's a bold switch to a Premier League rival like United, a romantic return to a former club in Europe, or a move to a new frontier, his next decision will be one of the most watched stories of the summer. One thing's for certain, wherever he ends up, De Bruyne will continue to be a player who defines games and demands respect. And as Roy Keane reminded us with a grin, maybe he won't have to move house at all.